Hey guys, Dan the Man with Ralston Acres. Thought I'd do one little farming around the Christmas tree video on our farm workers. Without farm workers, we couldn't do what we do here. So let's jump off into that. Hey guys, I thought I'd do a quick video on farm workers, how we do things here at Ralston Acres, and maybe this is something that would be interesting to you. Christmas tree farms, they take on a personality of their own, and it takes a lot of different people doing a lot of different jobs to make this thing work. So I had an opportunity today to bring one of my workers in, Abigail. Abigail, say hi.
Hi.
And she has been with us for how long?
This will be my 4th year.
Okay, so 3 already in the books, and this will be the 4th year. And so she's done quite a bit around. There's not many jobs she had to do. Tell us some of the jobs that you've done.
I've been a greeter. I started out being a greeter for at least for the first 2 years, and then I moved around to the gift shop and a little bit in the wreath shop. And then I've also worked in the concession stand a little bit and just picked up where I needed.
That's a mouthful. There's a lot of things that she's done, and at different times of the day for different stations, you know. So and what about during the off season? What have you gotten to do during the off season?
During the off season, I've gotten to help just keep up with the trees, help mow the grass, because there's a lot of mowing to be done because the grass never stops growing. And we've organized the gift shop. We've prepared for the next season. We've done inventory, and we've planted and tagged trees.
Yeah, the tagging, a lot of times people don't see how important that is when we tag the trees and put the size and keep track of everything so we can put it in our inventory. And it takes a lot of time to do that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does. You know, I wanted to ask her a few questions because I know that a lot of y'all maybe haven't had the opportunity to put any young people to work on a farm, either as an employee or as a farm contract worker. And I wanted to sort of let you hear from her as to what answers that she might have to some of these questions. Now, Abigail, back when we were first getting ready to hire you, you had to fill out an application, is that right?
Yeah.
And we did an interview.
Yes.
Were you nervous?
A lot. Yeah.
A lot. And I've known her since she was born, but at the same time, she was nervous. If you had to look back on the interview, what do you think was something that, if it's a new person doing an interview for the first time, that they need to bring to the table when they do the interview?
Definitely open eyes and ears, because you're going to be doing stuff that you might not be comfortable with, and you're going to have to learn how to just be patient and how to deal with the public.
That last sentence that you said, how to deal with the public. There's a lot of folks, whether they're young or old, that have difficulty with that, and that's our customer base. That's our customers. You have to be able to deal with the public. Is there any one job that you do now that you think is the most important, or is there any one job that you feel like is the most challenging to you? Let's do the most important first.
I think the most important job, I do a lot of different jobs, but I think greeting the people is one of the most important jobs, because you're the first face that you see.
Okay, so there's not many places she hasn't been, and she does well at all of them. But I want to ask you a few questions, and this might be interesting to our viewers. And be honest, don't just make something up. Okay, be honest. What do you think is one of the most important traits to a new worker that's been hired? What do you think one of the most important things that they need to keep in mind would be?
I think one of the most important things would be like your work ethic and how you present yourself to other people, and your also willingness to learn.
Okay, now I like that willingness to learn. Um, how is that helpful?
Your willingness to learn allows you to be able to do more different jobs, and it gives you just a better preference on stuff.
Okay, okay. So, they can't come in thinking that they know it all. They've got to learn the ropes as to how they do it. I understand that. Well, what do you think is one of the most challenging jobs that you've had in your 4 years here?
I think one of my most challenging jobs could also be greeting people, because some people don't want to listen and they want to do their own thing, because dealing with the public sometimes is difficult, but you have to keep a smile on your face and keep doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, let me explain what the greeter really does here. They're the first contact to the public as they come on our farm, and they're a greeter. They thank them for coming, and they sort of act as an information hub to begin their experience here at the farm. And sometimes people who have been here 4, 5, 6 times already, they'll just walk right on by a greeter, and the greeter sort of gets their feelings hurt because they're thinking, oh, they should have listened to what we said. But we don't take that personally or anything like that. And if they forget something and they come back out and say, well, I should have stopped here and you should have told me, well, the saws are inside or whatever, give them the information. But that's just dealing with the public.
Yeah.
It's just dealing with the public. If you were to have to train someone brand new, what area do you think would be the hardest to train?
I also think that would be greeting, because there's a lot to remember when you're greeting people. You have to remember, because they might ask what different types of trees you may have here on the farm, so you have to remember all those. You have to remember where they're all placed, and you just have to remember telling them every step of the way.
It's funny she says that because, the greeter, I would have thought, well, okay, the concession stand's hard because you got to remember all the different things that we sell and have to be fast with getting the hot chocolate and everything to people. Or I would have thought maybe it's the wreath shop or having to make the wreaths, or maybe it's the gift shop or having to look for t-shirt sizes and this kind of thing. But you pick greeter, and that's because you're first dealing with the public. Is that right? And that is extremely important when you're hiring somebody, is to get somebody that has a good personality, that knows a little bit of how to deal with the public. That is very important. All right, what's the number 2 area that you think is the most challenging?
I would say either the wreath shop or the concession stand. The wreath shop I would choose just because when I first started, I obviously wasn't that great at making wreaths, but I learned along the way. And the concession stand is like what he said, you just have to remember the different types of things.
It would be the wreath shop would be the second most challenging, you think? Let's go outside the season. Let's say it's the middle of spring, which we're in now. What would be the most challenging thing that you do in the spring? Be nice.
I am.
What's the first thing that comes to mind? In the spring, what do you do?
Mow.
Mow. That's what I was waiting on, mowing. We keep the grass down around our trees, and when you're mowing 18 acres, you can't do that in 30 minutes. It takes a long time. And sometimes it's cold, and sometimes it's
very hot.
Very hot. That's exactly right. But my main purpose of this video here is to sort of give you an idea of who to look for. Now, I happen to find you because I went to church with you, and I've known your parents for a long time. And but I noticed we got some other workers from different spots. Do you remember where I looked for those? Where did I find some of these workers?
You found a good bit from different schools in our areas.
Okay.
Some just wanting a job and
Okay.
wanting their experience of working here on the Christmas tree farm.
And that's what I try to do, is to get these people in line prior to the fall, because in the fall, everybody's starting to think about Christmas tree farming and all that. If you catch them in the spring, I think you get a better picture of a good worker as opposed to someone who just wants to, I'd like to be a part of the Christmas experience. This way you get somebody that's got I think, a real good work ethic. your FFAs. We've gone through some different teachers that I might know that might want to recommend somebody. And it might be word of mouth. We got one of our other workers just because Abigail's parents knew these other parents because they played ball, and we got Marley in, and now she's been with us almost
Yeah.
4 years.
I think me and her had an interview together.
There you go. So that's the way that it works there. But we have as many as 22 different people working for us during our Christmas season. But during the off season, it gets down to about maybe 4, maybe 5 at different times because of the schedules that they would have. But I wanted you to hear from Abigail. Abigail, you got anything else you want to add about who that perfect person would be to hire?
A really patient person and kind of like an outgoing person in a way.
Patient. How so?
You have to be patient with the different tasks you're given because it can get overwhelming at different times when you get super busy. And you have to be patient when dealing with different situations.
That's right. There's no telling. No 2 days are alike. That's just the way it goes. But patience and what was the other? Do you remember?
No.
It's not memory, is it? Patience and I think being able to have a good personality and be able to get along with people.
Outgoing.
And teamwork is something that you really want to use that patience and that personality to get in that thing. There's most of the time when I'm interviewing another worker, I also have a team member that's with me so that they can give me an idea of, you know what, I think I could work with her pretty well, or I could work with him pretty well. So that's just a little something that I thought that we'd bring up because we talk about everything else, but farm workers is part of what makes this thing function in the proper manner. So that's all we got today. That's all we're going to have time to. Please hit the like button if you like this video or want to see more video content like this. And please subscribe. That also helps us bring these videos to you. And in the meantime, take care, and we'll see you next time on Farming Around the Christmas Trees.